The freezer aisle hums with a quiet, cold dishonesty. You grab a box and the front of it shouts at you. It promises health, balance, and a lighter tomorrow. The colors are warm, the font is friendly. You feel responsible. You feel like you've made a good decision. But right now, on that very box, a silent transaction is happening. The front is selling you a feeling. The back is delivering a chemical reality. For anyone over 60, the difference between those two things is the difference between waking up with energy and waking up with a blood sugar reading that makes no sense. What if I told you that the most dangerous thing in that aisle isn't the microwave mac and cheese or the breaded chicken? It's the thing you aren't seeing. It's the thing you're trusting. And by the time you finish this, you'll never look at a frozen box the same way again. Let me introduce you to a man I'll call Paul. Paul is a former engineer, sharp as a tack. When he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at 62, he became a man on a mission. He read every blog. He watched every video. He arrived at the freezer aisle with a strategy. He bought meals marked lean, light, and diabetic friendly. His freezer looked like a testament to his commitment, and yet every morning his blood sugar was a gut punch. He was doing everything right, and the numbers were punishing him for it. He started blaming himself. He thought his body was broken, until I showed him the back of his favorite box. The word healthy was plastered across the front in big letters, but on the back was the equivalent of a salt lick and a sugar spike disguised as dinner. This isn't a story about cooking from scratch. This is a story about reclaiming your power in a world designed to confuse you. It starts with understanding a fundamental truth. The frozen food aisle is actually two different grocery stores fighting for the same space. On one hand, you have the ingredients asterisk. This is the honest part. Bags of broccoli, green beans, spinach, plain fish fillets, chicken breast. Food frozen at its peak, locking in nutrients that fresh vegetables lose sitting in your fridge for days. On the other hand, you have the science experiments. The entrees, bowls, and trays with sauces and seasonings designed for shelf life and flavor addiction, not for your pancreas. Paul thought he had to choose between convenience and health. He didn't realize that the convenience of the prepared meal was a slow-acting metabolic debt. This leads us to the core skill that separates people who struggle from people who thrive. It's a 30-second test you can run on any box. Forget the marketing claims. You are going to look for 4 numbers. This is the cheat code. The first is *** sodium asterisk. The dietary guidelines for anyone over 51 or living with high blood pressure and diabetes cap at around 1,500 milligrams a day. A single frozen dinner often contains between 800 and 1,500 milligrams. In one tray, you've used your entire salt allowance. High sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it creates a cascade. It pulls water into your bloodstream, increasing blood volume, and that pressure actively makes your cells more resistant to insulin. The salt is literally making the diabetes worse. The second is ** total carbohydrates **. Aim for about 30 to 45 grams, but look at the starch. Is it white rice? White noodles. Those are the Trojan horses. They break down into sugar almost instantly. The third is *fiber*. You need at least 3 grams. Fiber is the anti-sugar. It acts like a brake pad, slowing absorption so your blood sugar doesn't spike. If the box has 0 fiber, you are basically eating sugar. The fourth is ** protein **. This is the one most people ignore, but it might be the most critical. A 2019 review in Frontiers in Nutrition highlighted that the standard recommendation of 0.8 grams per kilogram was based on research from young men. It is inadequate for people over 60. You're dealing with anabolic resistance. You have to eat more protein just to get the same muscle-building benefit. Protein is the fuel for your muscle and the key to flattening that blood sugar spike. You want 15 to 20 grams or more. Paul had never checked a single one of these numbers. He was flying blind. Let's start with number 5. This is your training wheels meal. The * balanced bowl *. Think lean cuisine balance bowls. They carry the better choices for LifeMark from the American Diabetes Association. They keep calories low, have a serving of vegetables, and 0 added sugar. But here's the catch. That ADA stamp is a licensing fee. The manufacturer pays for the right to put it on the box. It's a starting point, not a finish line. You still have to check those four numbers. A teriyaki flavor can spike the sodium, while the herb lemon version is much gentler. Same line, different chemical realities. For Paul, this was a safe landing point. Number 4 is the *** Power Bowl ***. Healthy choice power bowls are a prime example. They are built on a whole grain foundation like quinoa or brown rice. This is a significant upgrade because that whole grain has its outer bran layer intact. That slows the breakdown, feeding you like a steady drip of energy instead of a fire hose of sugar. This is where we talk about muscle. Your leg muscles are the biggest glucose sponges in your body. They suck sugar out of your bloodstream. But if you're losing muscle mass due to sarcopenia, you're losing your sugar sponge. You have nowhere for the sugar to go. The Power Bowl gives you the raw material to rebuild those sponges. But again, you have to be vigilant. 2 bowls can look identical, but one is white rice and the other is brown rice. Your eyes will tell you which to pick. Number 3 is your fire extinguisher. The * low-carb striker *. This isn't for a normal Tuesday. It's for the morning you wake up and your blood sugar is already high. You've done everything right, and the meter is still unkind. On those days, you need a very low-carb, high-protein meal. Lines like Real Good Foods excel here. Paul started keeping these handy, and he told me it was the first time he felt like he had an emergency break. When his sugar was high, he'd eat one, and that dreaded post-dinner spike softened. He finally had a say in the outcome. However, this comes with a surgical warning. If you take insulin or a sulfonylurea medication, cutting your carbs too sharply can cause a dangerous drop in blood sugar. This isn't a dietary choice, it's a medical decision. You must have a conversation with your doctor before you start blasting low-carb meals. Number 2 is the ** bean bowl **. Imagine a Tex-Mex bowl built on black beans instead of a mountain of white rice. This is the power of resistant starch. Beans are packed with fiber and a type of starch that doesn't break down in the small intestine. It bypasses digestion. In research on chickpea pasta, they found the resistant starch nearly doubled and the glycemic index dropped. Beans keep you full for hours, are gentle on your stomach, and bring plant protein. But again, you can't sleep at the wheel. A heavy seasoning can drive the sodium right back up. The beans earn the spot, but only if you check the salt. And now, number 1. The one Paul swore he walked past 1,000 times. It isn't a box at all, it's a bag. The single best choice is a bag of frozen non-starchy vegetables, broccoli, green beans, cauliflower, paired with a plain frozen protein. A fish fillet with no breading. A skinless chicken breast. This is the pinnacle of control. The sodium is close to 0 because you didn't pour a sauce packet on it. The added sugar is 0, the fiber is high, the protein is high. It costs less than any prepared bowl. Paul told me, almost laughing, that after all those months of hunting for the perfect box, the best thing in his freezer was the cheapest, plainest stuff he'd been walking right past. He kept a bag of broccoli and a few fish fillets. On the tired nights, he threw them together. It took 5 minutes. Now let's talk about the villains, the ones to put back, the oversized dinners, the savory pot pies with their pastry crust, breaded fried fish, pizza, frozen breakfast sandwiches, and frozen desserts. The measuring stick is simple. If it has over 600 milligrams of sodium and less than 2 grams of fiber, it's working against you. Some hit 1,500 milligrams of sodium in a single sitting. That's your entire day's budget. And watch for the hidden sugar in breakfast items and desserts. Watch for the words ending in ose, fructose, dextrose, maltose. But I'm not telling you these are forbidden. If you love a slice of frozen pizza, have it, but balance the rest of your day around it. The harm isn't in the single meal, it's in the meal becoming a habit. There are upgrades you can make. I call it the Frozen Meal Plus. Whatever tray you're heating, add a handful of frozen non-starchy vegetables on the side. Add a healthy fat, a quarter of an avocado, a scattering of nuts. It adds fiber and staying power. Then there's the serving size. Turn the box over and read it carefully. A box that looks like a single dinner is often labeled as 2 servings, meaning the carbs and sodium are quietly doubled. And here's the final trick, the cooled rice effect. When you cook a starch like rice, then cool it for 12 hours and reheat it, part of that starch converts to a resistant starch. Studies show it lowers the blood sugar response. It's a small bonus